Marvel's officially full of themselves, subjects audience to 30-second logo. In order for you to know why the Avengers are here, you needed to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I have neither the time nor the patience to sit through so I can understand a movie. Also, a movie makes me do research so that I can figure out Agent Coulson is behind this Avengers op, which is confusing because he died in the last Avengers movie. Or did he? Here's Thor doing what he does best, punching and kicking dudes. Glorious shot of all the Avengers in one frame is absolutely ruined by the complete and total pointlessness of this opening battle.
Language.
Swear police. 6 seconds of Black Widow doing incomprehensible action things.
No one else is going to deal with the fact that Cap just said language.
Just goes to show how horrible Hydra is, or more, how good the heroes are, that they can endlessly crack jokes during these battles.
Concentrate fire on the weak ones.
This is precisely why the Avengers shouldn't have any weak ones, aka Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Send in the Iron Legion.
What? You were attacking this pivotal enemy base without 5 autonomous Iron Man robots assisting you before now? What the hell for? Do any of the Avengers even need to be here right now? This movie should have been subtitled The Age of Wasted Resources.
This quadrant is unsafe.
Something you Sokovians can totally understand in English.
We have an enhance in the field.
And then that's all we ever see of Quicksilver during the entire battle. If he's simply trying to escape, why bother showing himself? If he's fighting, then why does he completely disappear from the action?
Yay.
Indeed, yay. And all you have to do is randomly push some part of the wall and it opens.
Hey, big guy.
This movie suggests that between the last film and this one, Black Widow figured out some magical interpersonal hand-wiping connection with the Hulk she can exploit to get Hulk back to Banner status, which is some bullshit. And here's yet another scene that makes no sense. Scarlet Witch shows up, hits Cap with red CGI, and then leaves to allow Cap to simply beat Strucker. What's the f***ing point? Also, a girl who has been experimented on and held captive decides to defend those who experimented on her and held her captive. Sure, we have time for visions of the future. There was a time when those were called previews, and they came before the movie, not during. Also, Scarlet Witch freaks out Iron Man with a vision of dead Avengers, instead of just, killing him. Does anyone else find it unnerving that these two played husband and wife the last time we saw them? Now they're twins? That's kind of creepy, right? Well, damn, Beats is even showing up in the Maria Callas music videos.
You've been after this thing since S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed.
But why? Wasn't Loki's scepter on top of the Stark Tower at the end of the last movie? Did none of you go and get it? I don't watch your damn TV show, so why can't you at least explain how the f***ing scepter got into the wrong hands again for us movie fans, huh? I will never see this building as anything other than a Blue Jay.
He's fast and she's weird.
Movie thinks a throwaway punchline will make me forget it does nothing to explain Scarlet Witch's abilities, but movie is wrong. Well, there goes the end of Iron Man 3 and the promise to destroy all the suits. I guess since Pepper isn't in this movie, she can't object.
What if next time aliens roll up to the club, and they will, they couldn't get past the bouncer?
Well, do they have suitable fake IDs?
We can only do it while we have the scepter here. That's 3 days. Give me 3 days.
Thor decided that 3 days of revelry was in order after a battle that took like 10 minutes. One of this movie's biggest flaws is having Tony Stark behaving as though he can create artificial intelligence without it instantly going rogue against humanity. So, Tony has never seen Terminator? Or The Matrix? And that's the end of Jarvis. I think. I don't know.
So, no Pepper? She's not coming?
No.
Wait, what about Jane?
This is the only world in which party guests were too expensive to show up.
You found a place in Brooklyn yet?
I don't think I can afford a place in Brooklyn.
Wait, you're a celebrity working in a highly funded secret government agency, and you can't afford a place in Brooklyn? Are they paying you in 1940s money?
Neither was Omaha Beach, Blondie. Stop trying to scare us.
In this movie's unwarranted Stan Lee cameo, Stan Lee will play one of the guys that stormed Normandy, because of course he will. Hey, just what this story needed. A romantic angle involving Romanoff and Bruce Banner. The plot thickens? Hammer measuring contest? Also, why does it take 3 hours for an AI like Ultron to fully realize itself, take control of a robot, and attack the party? Movie gets a laugh out of Banner trying to lift Thor's hammer, but dodges geek orgasm question of what would happen if Banner were in full-on Hulk mode while trying to lift it.
And? Widow?
Oh, no, that's not a question I need answered.
Thank God. My sexual fantasies would have taken a huge hit if she did. Ultron is polite enough to wait until the non-important party guests have left the building to start his attack. Also, why did he pick the damaged suit to download into when there are plenty of perfectly good suits to do that? Romanoff thinks that mere guns can shoot down these indestructible iron suits. These iron suits are Tony's suits, right? Do they suddenly forget how to aim when they become bad guys? Wait, so one wallop from Cap's shield and these Iron Legion bots explode into bits? Are you telling me Tony Stark built a fleet of bitch bots?
There are no strings on me.
Ultron is in the cloud! Also, an evil robot in a Marvel movie? I honestly thought I'd never see the day.
Ultron cleared out, used the internet as an escape hatch.
He used the what to what now? You may have forgotten during that confusing battle that Rhodes was hit with Ultron's pulse bolt, crashed through a window, and fell about 50 feet into a metal walkway down below. But sure, he's just got an ouchie on his shoulder.
Trail went cold about 100 miles out.
You mean an Iron Man suit trail? What kind of trail do those leave? Do you look for broken twigs and footprints? And if it's that easy, how'd you lose it?
You know this church is in the exact center of the city.
Villain gives us some sort of history lesson to appear more interesting and smart cliche.
But sooner or later, every man shows himself.
This accent.
But I saw Stark's fear. I knew it would control him, make him self-destruct.
It might have been easier to just kill him, but the psychology experiment is a lot more fun.
Smaller people? Children! I lost the word there.
Right, because an AI robot would somehow forget the word children in the midst of planning a worldwide annihilation.
It makes a hole in the floor. It's big. Our parents go in.
Wait, so Magneto went out like a bitch in this timeline?
We wait for 2 days for Tony Stark to kill us.
During which time we filmed our love scene for Godzilla. Ultron really should be good enough on his own to do whatever plan he's dreaming up with the multiple robots and full-range access to the internet. But how could Marvel pass up yet another villainous team-up? They've worked so well for their movies in the past. Based on a guy Tony knew one time out of the thousands connected to Strucker, they managed to turn this one lead into the exact lead they need to find Ultron.
Cuttlefish, deep-sea fish. They make lights, disco lights.
This is the point of the script, that every bad guy needs to pass on some sort of trivial knowledge to the Maximoff twins so they could win Slumdog Millionaire, I guess.
I only deal with the man in charge.
Why did Ultron bother sending the human mutants first if he himself was there? Was it just for the whammy visual? Because I think it was. The guy with this gun clearly has no chance to kill Ultron, but Scarlet Witch is there to stop him just so it seems she's not completely useless. Oh, we need something for Black Widow to do. I know, send in a bunch of evil human soldiers right now. Avengers 2 steals the suspended animation Quicksilver scene from X-Men Days of Future. Oh, wait, does Thor see Quicksilver? Is that why he throws the hammer here? Also, the one guy with superpowers who clearly doesn't need any help decides, yeah, I need Thor's hammer. Let's do this.
Stay down, kid.
Yeah, stay down, and I trust you'll just stay there while we go kick some more ass.
It's time for some mind games.
Only now? Why not earlier? Why even play physical games at all? Huzzah! More dream sequences!
Done the whole mind control thing. Not a fan.
Hawkeye avoids being mind-controlled simply because the filmmakers wanted to tell a joke. Comic book hero movie splices frames from center stage into the final print. Captain America's Scarlet Witch-induced flashback will consist of recreating a scene from Swing Kids.
Are you ready for our dance?
Well, this is a fun cameo, but why is Scarlet Witch giving the Avengers happy memories?
I want the big one.
Luckily, the Avengers park their plane in an easily viewable area so that Scarlet Witch can control Hulk, which is just an excuse for the Hulkbuster scene, which this movie clearly needed. Oh yeah, Iron Man and Ultron have totally been fighting the last 5 minutes while I watched fictional mind flashbacks.
I'm calling in Veronica.
This is the second time this movie that Tony has called in some previously unknown support part of his arsenal for dramatic effect. Tony Stark designed a Hulk cage that only lasts 30 seconds. So Tony has a suit that helps him defeat Hulk, the most undefeatable guy in all of Marvel lore, but somehow doesn't deem that superior suit worthy of wearing during normal Ultron warfare. Why isn't the Hulkbuster armor the default armor? Hulkbuster armor is clearly badass, but if Black Widow can solve Hulk with a couple of arm touches and a hypno phrase, then why didn't everyone learn that? Never mind these innocent people here, pay attention to the spectacle, damn it. I mean, were they trying to out Transformers 3 Man of Steel here? Movie suggests that even in Hulk mode, Banner is somehow able to see and feel sorrow for his terrible Hulk actions. So that punch knocked him out? Ah, this is what we all paid for, right? The Avengers of Madison County. Luckily for Hawkeye, the Avengers are disgraced, and now his house functions as a means to make him matter more.
Yeah, well, Fury helped me set this up when I joined.
And even though Captain America Winter Soldier established that Fury and all of S.H.I.E.L.D. were compromised, somehow this little farmer's paradise still went unnoticed. Pretty sweet, right?
I saw something in that dream.
What dream?
I need answers.
To what?
I won't find him here.
Wait, what? I'm so confused!
What about Nat and Dr. Banner? How long has that been going on?
Too f***ing long, and also about half a movie to be precise.
No, I totally support your avenging.
Grr, arg.
Movie teases potentially contentious discussion between Rogers and Stark, but erroneously thinks we'd rather spend time with Hawkeye's marriage.
That's their mind mess.
But why? Second Avengers film suddenly decides Hawkeye is somehow the moral center of this group of crime fighters, which is stupid, rushed, forced, and stupid. Just in case you confused it with Seoul, Norway.
You still think you're the only monster on the team?
Smart people know she's talking about being an efficient killer, not that she can't have babies. However, should we send the fact that coming right on the heels of a revelation that she's sterile, this script was a little tone deaf about that?
Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people die.
Wait, but what about when people try to win a war after it starts? Do innocent people still die then? Because I think they do.
Do me a favor.
Jesus, is there any reason for this guy to pop out of nowhere in this scene? Who's here that he'd be hiding from in a barn?
Ultron says the Avengers are the only thing between him and his mission.
Yet he decided not to kill them while they were all confined on a boat and confused by Scarlet Witch.
Ultron's going to evolve.
How?
Has anyone been in contact with Helen Cho?
Who?
Water of sight.
Remember when the individual movies got you excited about the Avengers? Now it's the Avengers' job to get you excited about individual movies, which in turn will preview the next ones. Coming soon, Marvel previews the movie.
If the water spirits accept me, I can return to my dream and find what I missed.
Of course! It's almost too easy. In case you confused it with Oslo, Korea. Attacking Avengers jet drops off Cap, and only Cap, about a half-mile from where he ultimately needs to be. Mostly just so the film can have a cool establishing shot.
Dr. Joe!
Why is she not dead? She's got a huge gash in her chest.
The real power is inside the cradle.
The gem.
Oh, Jesus. More f***ing things I'm gonna have to remember now. With all the artifacts, scepters, gems, minerals, and inventions in these movies, f*** these things right in the ear. Thankfully, since thawing out, Cap has seen Matrix Reloaded. First off, these people are dead, knowing what we know about Captain America and his unbelievable strength. Second off, why the f*** are these people driving behind this van where they see Cap dangling out the back door and obvious don't drive behind this is going on?
Always picking up after you, boys.
How stupid is it that with all the Avengers, the best plan here is for a jet to trail Cap in case he gets into trouble so that it can drop a powerless Black Widow down in a motorcycle to pick up his shield? First off, f***ing no. Second off, your idea is to shoot the road instead of her? What the hell for?
Wait, can you draw out the guards?
Let's find out.
This does absolutely nothing to Ultron, but sure enough, the guards come out of the truck exactly as the Avengers need them to.
I'm sending the package to you.
How do you want me to take it?
Well, me and everyone else who just thought of a sex joke is going to hell. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch show up on this train out of nowhere. They completely abandoned Ultron earlier, so where the hell were they hiding when they said, "Alright, this train is where we'll finally get that rat bastard"? Well, someone saw Spider-Man too. I know Tony was at the internet hub place in Norway, but he can't Iron Man over here after that and help out. And wasn't that like last night? Yeah, no. Everybody on this train, except those with superpowers, should be totally dead. Elijah Price will be very interested to know this, but in this movie he's Nick Fury, so I could be confusing my movies again. Korean Air would like to take this subway tragedy excuse to remind you how awesome their air travel service is.
Cradle. Did you get it?
Stark will take care of it.
No, you won't.
I still just want to know where he is.
Scattered, dumped his memory, but not his protocols.
Whatever bullshit helps you sleep at night when you ex-machina a character back to life.
We're mad scientists. We're monsters, buddy. You've got to own it.
This is the speech one man of science gives another man of science to convince him to repeat a horribly failed previous experiment. Paging all real scientists. How pissed off does this make you? Oh, he also kept Black Widow alive instead of killing her. Ultron is full of bizarre and dumb moves. God, he's gonna keep her alive even longer? It's not like the Avengers need a reason to attack him. Screw that evil robot, I'm going golfing. Wait, he's got Black Widow? F it, it's on now. If Quicksilver isn't doing any Quicksilvering right now, then why is he seeing the bullet at Quicksilver speed? Sudden Thor is sudden. Thor does some bullshit and gives birth to Vision. But I'm not sure I believe my eyes, because this is the same guy John Nash hallucinated in A Beautiful Mind. Artificial intelligence created by a combination of Ultron, Banner, and Stark knowledge, with a little bit of Thor lightning, comes with a free cape.
What's he waiting for?
You.
Jesus. I mean, why? What's the frickin' point?
Sokovia. He's gotten that there too.
Because Ultron keeps human prisoners and stuff. Also, if you really think about it, Ultron woke up, then disappeared for a few days to build an even more better robot. So the age of Ultron is at least 80% the age of Vision, if we're speaking technically.
Every form he's built, every trace of his presence on the net.
The net? The net? Every trace? This is some 1990s internet dialogue if I've ever heard it. That was awesome as f***. I'll remove a sin for that. Why not? When going into battle, the Avengers only trust Adidas.
Ultron knows we're coming.
But does he know when? Well, of course Ultron knows you're coming to attack if you do a pre-attack Maverick-style flyby of his base like this. I mean, Jesus. Movie glosses over how Banner is able to infiltrate Ultron's compound and find the prison sector undetected. Oh good, the Avengers are now going to war with a bunch of robot clones. This is sort of like the ending of the first Avengers, only this time they bothered to evacuate a city before destroying it. And also it's like Attack of the Clones, so there's that. Again, it's just too bad for this movie that X-Men Days of Future Past Quicksilver came first, because it makes this a lot less awesome. Sorry, Joss. This scene of Ultron's machine lifting a chunk of the city up into the air is awesome. It's just too bad for this movie that X-Men Days of Future Past Magneto lifts up the stadium scene came first, because it makes this a lot less awesome. Sorry again, Joss.
Ready.
Sokovia is going for a ride.
Man, Tony's backup Jarvis software is super poetic and vague, and maybe on drugs. So the reason Ultron is doing this is because Jarvis stopped him from accessing nuclear launch codes and stuff that would make ending the world a lot easier. But why not just build your own bombs? Ultron clearly has all the knowledge he needs to do something way easier than something out of the Lex Luthor handbook. The action in the finale of Age of Ultron is ridiculously confusing and ultimately boring, as they fight tons of robot clones, all of whom appear to have no fight in them whatsoever.
Look, the city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Look, I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off. Of course, just because you joke about your ridiculous plot making no sense doesn't exactly excuse it either. Also, Hawkeye would be excellent at CinemaSins. Also, having your most useless superhero joke about his uselessness does not excuse his inclusion in the Avengers over other heroes with real actual powers. Instead of fighting Ultron, Captain America goes about saving 1 or 2 of the 20,000 endangered citizens. Makes sense. It's amazing with all these robots everyone has to fight, Thor just happens to be flying by when these cars go into free fall. He's going to save them, but guess what? Many, many more are getting murdered by robots right now while you can save these 2 people.
You'll never...
Never what?
Wait, what? Cap can now somehow call his vibranium shield back to his arm via telepathy? In this sequence, Black Widow will use taser knives to kill Ultron bots at the rate of an actual superpowered individual.
Thor, you're bothering me.
Yeah, he's the only one bothering you, but whatever. Oh, See, if you never explain a hero's powers, like even a tiny bit, then you can get away with having them mind explode a bunch of enemies in the finale.
Where else am I gonna get a view like this?
An airplane? A mountain? A ride on Iron Man's back? This is a very stupid line written by a very lost screenwriter. It's kind of amazing that when all this shit went down, Fury was able to find this in a matter of, I'm guessing, an hour, and was able to fly it over here just when the heroes needed it most.
Sir, we have multiple bogies converging on our starboard flank.
Show them what we got.
And what we got turns out to be discount Iron Man, as opposed to some kind of badass anti-aircraft guns you might expect on an airship like this. Alright, another character I can confuse with all the other metal men flying around right now. Furthermore, if Rhodey decides to land anywhere near the Avengers below, don't they accidentally try and kill him since he looks like all the other silver bots flying around? Maria still thinks this is an appropriate weapon in battles like this.
That's the best you can do!
Come on.
This is the best I can do. This is exactly what I wanted. All of you against all of me.
What, are you a screenwriter? This shot pretty much sums up the entire movie right here. Useless robots doing useless things while the Avengers pick them off. Do you get a feeling Iron Man could have done this job himself? This scene isn't so much a battle as it is a modeling session for Avengers baseball cards. In fact, I heard if you cut fast enough, the viewer won't be able to truly settle in and establish on any one shot of the action, thereby confusing them into thinking it all flows and makes sense. Brilliant. How did the Avengers even keep track of who's kicking whose ass? I mean, I got dizzy and threw up just trying to keep track of one of Ultron's soldiers in this scene.
You know, with the benefit of hindsight.
Remember how you liked it when Hulk did that in the first movie, you whores? Laugh it up.
Put in the market.
Oh no, a woman we've randomly been seeing a couple of times during this battle lost her son. Damn. Well, there's no way anyone's ever gonna find— oh, Twins can always tell when their twin has been killed by a terrible screenwriter. Also, silent note. Every time Ultron dies in this movie, it's a bunch of nonsense. Isn't he still wandering around the internet?
Now I need you to turn this bird around, okay?
Is Hulk a fucking pilot all of a sudden? So that was the last Ultron apparently, even though I still have my doubts about that. But what exactly made this the age of Ultron anyway? Aren't ages a period of many, many years? Hey, remember me? I was in both Thor movies and the last Avengers movie, and yet am somehow still the most forgettable character Marvel ever put to film.
Wield the hammer, he can keep the Mind Stone.
Well, as long as there's a good reason for Tony to be here right now, but not be part of the new Avengers.
You can find out what's coming?
I do.
It'll probably take at least 3 more movies or so before we can, but sure. What the hell is this place? Black Widow's been thinking about Hulk a long time in this thinking chamber of some sort. Avengers team that has an all-powerful Scarlet Witch on their side literally doesn't need any other team members, most especially a dude who can glide on some metal wings. Jesus.
I'll do it myself.
Finally!
Hey, big guy.
How do you want me to take it?
If we could somehow harness this lightning, channel it into the flux capacitor.
And over the desk so you're looking directly at it. Get your face very close to the letter and read the letter aloud.
So stand.
Stand in the place where you live. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper, "No."
This is exactly what I wanted. All of you against all of me.
And that's because we've been watching so much Japanese anime on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is an anime streaming service that offers the largest, most diverse collection of anime series that you can watch in HD with no ads. And Crunchyroll will get you new shows as soon as 1 hour after they air in Japan, with subtitles. It's safe to say that's faster than you could pirate them.
Who didn't believe I could do it? Who doubted me?
The best part, you can enjoy it all free for 30 days when you go to crunchyroll.com/CinemaSins. Yes, that's a month of unlimited, professionally subtitled anime, manga, and drama titles that you can enjoy on all your devices. All you have to do is click the link in the description or head to crunchyroll.com/CinemaSins to get started.